to our picks segment. And if you have been listening to the show, to this podcast, we've made you some money. Now, I will tell you that we have not made you too much money in the NFL, but it was just the first week. Both Scotty and I both went 2-0. I believe Scotty went 2-0. I definitely went 2-0 in college football last week. So we're going to start with some college picks. Chris, do you have picks for this week? Do you have games?
I don't have college picks. I got you covered on the NFL, though.
But you do for the NFL. Okay, so then all you need are my 2 picks for this week. I went 2-0 last week. It was easy money, and they're going to be easy money again this week. We mentioned Rutgers earlier before. Rutgers is 2-0. This past week, they beat Syracuse 17-7. The first week, they scored 61 points. Who did they score 61 points against? They scored 61 points against Temple. Now Temple's playing against Boston College, who's better than Rutgers. Now, the game is at Temple. It's in Philly, but whatever. Boston College has a legitimate NFL prospect at quarterback. They're favored by 14.5. I hate the half. I hate the 14.5. It's 14 is such a sharp number, but the half really, it's like a hangnail, and I can't stand it. I think I might get caught on that one. But I got to think that if Rutgers can score 61 against Temple, then Boston College can at least score, 40. And if Boston College scores 40, they're 2-0. They're gonna cover the spread. So my first pick in college football is to go Boston College minus 14.5 over the putrid, pathetic, terrible Temple Owls. Now, I had another game.
Love that pick, by the way.
Thank you. You like that one? Temple's bad.
I may play around with the offshore accounts and see if I can, get a half point off or T. Just I like get myself on 14, getting off of 14.5.
But the half point bothers me. But I think they're going to beat them by over 20, so the half point isn't going to mean shit. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what's my second game? And I'm looking at this Penn State game, and I'm saying, why the hell is Penn State favored by 5? I know it's at home, and I know it's a whiteout, but whatever. They shouldn't be favored by 5 over Auburn. So if I were a smart man, I would take the 5 points with Auburn. But I'm not smart. I'm going to a different game. I'm going to leave that game alone. So maybe you on your own, you want to bet Auburn against Penn State. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep riding the train that I have been riding since before this season started. And I'm going to say take Cincinnati on the road against Indiana and lay the 3.5 points. Listen, there are 2 games that Cincinnati has had circled on their schedule this year, and that's Indiana on the road because Indiana's been a decent team over the last couple of years, and Notre Dame. So last week, Cincinnati only scored like 14 points in the first half. They were sleepwalking. Why? Because they knew they were playing Indiana this week. They were looking forward. But what do good teams do? They come out in the second half and they say, wake the fuck up. This is unacceptable. And they ended up shitting on Miami, Ohio, whoever the hell they played. Doesn't matter. They crushed them. They did what they were supposed to do. They woke up. That means coaching did a good job, and the players woke up. They have a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback. Indiana looks terrible.
They couldn't spell the name on their jerseys right last.
What was it? Indiana or something? It was just Indania. Whatever the hell it was. If you can't get your jersey right, you can't beat a Heisman Trophy candidate. So take Cincinnati minus the 3.5. They're going to win by double digits. They're probably going to win by 10, 12 points. They've been looking forward to this game since the season started. They knew they were going to win the first 2 games of the year. They've been looking to Indiana, and then after they beat Indiana, the next big game that they have is against Notre Dame. And Notre Dame hasn't looked really good either. So
I would not be taking Notre Dame.
Cincinnati is going to be in that Final Four. Take my word for it.